Here's a fun little project to do. I call it Exploding Box of Flowers. It only takes a few supplies, most of which you probably already have around the house. It's not very difficult, and I want to encourage you to give it a try. Welcome to Hey, I Can Make That. The tools that we're going to use for the project. You need some floral wire, some floral cutters, scissors, a marker, a knife, and it's a serrated knife, and then a box with a lid, just any paper box that's got a nice lid, a plastic container that also has a lid, and this is called Floral Oasis. So this is the stuff that absorbs water. There's two kinds of this Floral Oasis. One is really tough that you can't, if you push down on it, you won't be able to see a mark, but this one you can see it's soft. That's the one that you want, and that's the one that allows you to absorb water. Then I have 3 colors of flowers. There's 3 here. Some extra greenery and some ribbon. So let's get started. First thing we do is we take our plastic container and we put it inside of our box. So you can see when I have it in the box that there's, this one in particular is probably about 1 inch taller than the edge. We don't want that to be sticking up. So we'll take the marker, and what I'm going to do is you just make a line along here, the same level as the box, and then get my scissors and cut it out. And I've already done that, and this is what you come up with. So see, now it's flush with the top of the box. Next step is to take your Floral Oasis, so this stuff, with nothing in the box, just the Oasis, and you're going to take the lid and you're going to sort of eyeball it. So you're going to say, okay, I don't think I want that much to be all flowers, but maybe something like that. And then you mark it, and then you use a serrated knife and you cut it off. And I've already done that. And you get this, and when you have the lid on, so to me that looks like a good amount of space to put the flowers. So then I took my container and I took the Floral Oasis and I cut it so it fit into here nice and snug. And again, I use the serrated knife for that. It's just easier with the saw knife. It just goes through a lot smoother. So now when I put this in here, again, take a look at it, that looks about right for me. So next step is to take the Oasis, and so this is what's going to hold the water for your flowers to keep them fresh. So I take this, I'm going to put it in a container full of water, just like a bowl that's big enough to hold this. And I'm going to submerge it in the water, and it will take about 20 minutes, and don't rush this. I know sometimes, you know, people have put it in and they're thinking, oh, it's got enough water in it. It really doesn't. It takes the full 20 minutes to soak. Okay, so here's my bowl of water, and if I take my Oasis and I put it in, you can see right away it starts to absorb water, which is great. That's what we want. But it's tough to hold it here for 20 minutes. So just put something on top of it to hold it underneath, and in 20 minutes come back and it should be ready for you to use. Now we're ready to start putting the flowers in. So this is all soaked. You'll see it's a lot heavier once it's got water in it. And I've taken the flowers, I've cut them off just about 2 inches, not too long of a stem. And I've taken a skewer because these flowers are little, they're very delicate, so this really, the stem moves quite a bit. If they were bigger roses, they'd have more structure here, but because it's soft, it might be a bit tough if I push it into the Oasis just on their own, that they might, it just bends. So what I do is I take a skewer and I make a hole so that it goes in really easily. And then just pop it in there, and you want it to be pretty close to the body. You don't want it really sticking out. And I've done another one here. And that's the start. We'll keep going. So for the next step, this is pretty much what I have. But I wanted to show you something. It's these little things that make the difference. So when you put the lid on, I wanted to make sure that it really looked like the flowers were just bursting out. So that's why I left a few little leaves like this sticking out, and it, see, if I don't, I should put another one here because it just sort of sits there. But when you have leaves like this, it looks like, okay, the whole thing is bursting out. Just that little bit of, you know, pulling a leaf out or having a bit more out here, it just makes a difference between this being ordinary and just a little bit more special. So this is why you use the Oasis, which is this stuff. You can see that if I just had this in a container, all of these stems for the flowers, they wouldn't be going down into water if it was just sitting in this container. But because the Oasis is holding water, wherever I stick the stems, it's getting a drink. So I'll show you. So what you can do is every couple of days or so, you water from the top like this, and it will absorb it, and any overflow will get caught down in that pan down here. This is where the lid from the plastic container comes in. So because the Oasis is wet, if I would put this paper top on the top of the box on there, obviously the paper would get wet, would absorb it, would get wrecked. So that's why I have the top from the plastic container. It should be very similar to the size of the box. So because we know that from the container that was that we put in the bottom. And I just pop in this container here. You can see like the box sort of holds it in place. But even if it didn't, it doesn't matter. And then when I put this on, you've got that plastic protection that won't let the top of the box get wet. So here it is in the box with the top on, and you just take another quick little look. There's a gap here on some spots where you could see the plastic container. So just take a quick look for that, and I just threw in an extra couple of pieces of greenery. But I love it. It's so cute. It really is surprising how many flowers a little box like this takes. But it's so worth it. It's just like a fun little treat to have. Last part is putting the bow on. So here's the final product. I just tied a ribbon on top, and it just completed the whole look. It's so fun. It's pretty, it's cute, it's compact. It's not a difficult project, and I think most people could do it. So I hope you give it a try.